evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Lumpim Vishum. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Monday, the 15th of September. Terror outfits filling in for government relief aid in flood-hit POK. Bangladesh calls for wider regional cooperation to combat threats of Al-Qaeda. And inflation in India falls to 5-year low for month of August. And now for all the details. Accusations are mounting that the Pakistani army has outsourced relief operations to Islamist outfits which have terror links in flood-hit regions of Pakistani Kashmir, with banned groups like Jamaat-ud-Dawa undertaking rescue work at the forefront. A report.
As public anger rises over the government's slow response to the floods in Pakistan, Islamic charities have sprung into action, demonstrating that they can provide what the authorities cannot, with tacit support from the powerful Pakistani army. Hizbul Mujahideen is the latest militant group which has jumped into providing relief for those affected by the calamity. According to reports, Sayyid Salahuddin, chief of the militia, has ordered of suspending all terror activities in Indian side of Kashmir and divert the resources towards relief work in POK. This comes after Jamaat-ud-Dawa or JUD has already been given a free hand in the remote region. The hardline Islamist charity, linked to carrying out the November 2008 Mumbai attacks, is outrightly taking to aiding those stranded in the floods. The alleged charity wing of the militant group Lashkar-e-Taiba has been distributing subsidized food and necessary items through its various relief camps there. Its chief Hafiz Saeed said his organization, the Jamaat-ud-Dawa or JUD, was committed to helping millions of those affected.
हमारी कश्तियां लगी हुई हैं, अब भी लगी हुई हैं, काम कर रही हैं, लेकिन ये बहुत थोड़ा है। मैं कराची के मोहसिन लोगों से ये अपील करता हूं कि आप सैलाबज़दा लोगों की भरपूर मदद करें। मदद की बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरत है। ये बहुत मामूली है जो आप देख रहे हैं।
JUD, which has been listed by the United Nations as a terrorist front, is earning new support among Pakistan's beleaguered masses through its charity, which is allowed to operate under the patronage of the Pakistani army. The JUD's militant army, the Lashkar-e-Taiba or LET run, facilitates suspected of indoctrinating religious fundamentalism in Pakistani Kashmir's mountainous terrain. During natural calamities, they are allowed a free run in the region.
Amid reports of the Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State militants trying to focus on South Asia, activists in Bangladesh organized a seminar to make the civil society aware of the looming threat of militancy the country is facing from both international and domestic terror groups.
The seminar discussed the various aspects of terror threat that Bangladesh is facing in the present scenario. Many pointed out at the involvement of the Jamaat-e-Islami, the country's largest Islamic party, in terror and militancy activities in the country. Experts said that the people of Bangladesh should be made aware of the terror links Jamaat has in the country and abroad.
This is a seminar that we are going to participate, organized mainly to sensitize the stakeholders as well as the common people about the danger of terrorism in Bangladesh, which basically sponsored by or patronized by some of the open political parties like Jamaat-e-Islami, and is South Asian and international connections. That is the focus for discussion.
Senior journalist and writer Shahryar Kabir said, despite the claim of Ayman al-Zawahiri, there is no evidence of Al-Qaeda's presence in Bangladesh.
যদিও আমাদের নিরাপত্তা কর্মকর্তাদের প্রায় বলতে শুনি যে বাংলাদেশে আল-কায়েদার তেমন কোনো নেটওয়ার্কের খবর তারা জানেন না এবং জঙ্গিদের বিষয়টাকে পুরোপুরি নিয়ন্ত্রণে আছে। গত 6 বছরে ওই ত্রিশালের 3 জঙ্গি ছিনতাই ছাড়া এমন কোনো ঘটনা ঘটেনি। এরকম কথাবার্তা তারা গত 1 মাস ধরে বলছেন, কিন্তু গত 1 মাসে এই যে সরদার যে খবরটি যেভাবে এসছে, পাশাপাশি আমরা আরেকটি খবর দেখলাম, সেটা হচ্ছে এই মাসের 3 তারিখে সিলেটের সীমান্ত থেকে হবিগঞ্জে সাতছড়া গ্রাম থেকে, গ্রাম বলা যাবে না, সেটা গভীর অরণ্য থেকে বিপুল পরিমাণ অস্ত্র উদ্ধার করেছে র্যাব, এবং এটা এই ধরনের অস্ত্র তারা গত জুন মাসে উদ্ধার করেছিল। আমাদের এখানে ছবিও আছে।
He also called for a united effort by the countries in the region to fight the new threat together.
আমাদের একটা আঞ্চলিক টাস্ক ফোর্স দরকার শুধুমাত্র সন্ত্রাস মোকাবেলার জন্য। তখন পাকিস্তান এবং অন্যরা সেভাবে সাড়া দেয়নি, কিন্তু আমার মনে হয় যে পাকিস্তান যদি নাও আসে, আজকে জাওয়াহিরির এই বক্তব্যের প্রেক্ষাপটে ভারত, বাংলাদেশ, বার্মা মিলে যদি একটা উদ্যোগ নেয়, আমাদের প্রধানমন্ত্রী মহাজোট সরকার যদি উদ্যোগ নেয়, আমি মনে করি আন্তর্জাতিক সমর্থন আমরা পাবো। এই মহাজোট সরকারের যে গ্রহণযোগ্যতা বলুন এবং জঙ্গি মৌলবাদ দমনে তাদের যে আন্তরিকতা, এটা আন্তর্জাতিক অঙ্গনে প্রশংসিত হবে বলে আমি বিশ্বাস করি।
A video purportedly by Al-Qaeda Supremo Zawahiri, which surfaced earlier this month, claimed to establish a new wing in South Asia to focus on countries like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh and Myanmar. Though there is no evidence about the Al-Qaeda's presence in Bangladesh, many local militants in the country have their affiliations with the dreaded militia in the past.
The minority Christian community in Pakistan commemorated those killed in a deadly terror attack on a church in northwest Peshawar, which killed 127 people last year. Many called for better security for the religious minority in the country.
Hundreds of Christians assembled at the All Saints Cathedral on Sunday to hold a peace march as part of the month-long observation of the first anniversary of the twin terror attack a year ago. Seeking an end to the rising violence against the minority community in Muslim-dominated Pakistan, many demanded peace amid the bloodshed.
आज की इस वॉक का मकसद हमारे उन शोहदा जो लास्ट ईयर 22 सितंबर 2013 को चर्च धमाके में शहीद हुए थे, उनकी कुर्बानी को याद करना है और इस ज़रूरत पर जोर देना है, लोगों में आगाही पैदा करनी है कि अब ये वक्त आ गया है कि हमारे मुल्क में अमन की ज़रूरत है।
The century-old cathedral in the provincial capital came under twin suicide attacks on September 22nd last year as hundreds of devotees were leaving the premises after Sunday prayers. The 2.5 million strong community, which makes up 1.6% of the Sunni majority Pakistan, has regularly come under targeted attacks by religious extremist groups like the Taliban, forcing many to seek asylum elsewhere in the world.
On to some other developments now. India's wholesale price inflation eased to its lowest level in nearly 5 years in August, due partly to lower food and global commodity prices. The country's annual rate of inflation based on the wholesale price index fell to 3.74% for this month, raising expectations of a rate cut at the Reserve Bank's scheduled policy meet on September 30. The decline was the sharpest for vegetables, mainly onions. The data also suggested a drop in the inflation rate for eggs, meat and fish, apart from rice and wheat. The Apex Bank is likely to keep interest rates on hold to prevent a revival in price pressures once the economy gains momentum. 24% of women between the age group of 20 to 24 in Pakistan were married before turning 18. A United Nations report has said. It also expressed concerns over the growth of child marriages in the Islamic nation.
The report, titled Improving Children's Lives, Transforming the Future, was published as part of marking the 25th year of the UN adopting the Convention of Child Rights. According to the report, majority of the girls in Pakistan, especially those in the rural areas, were at the risk of being married off at a young age. While 29% of the women in the age group of 20 to 24 were married before the age of 18, in urban areas it was 16%. Lack of strict laws, poverty and tribal traditions is resulting in the continuation of the practice in Pakistan. Many efforts to enforce a legal ban on child marriages have failed after facing fierce opposition from orthodox religious bodies in the country.
Pakistan has blamed Afghanistan for not cooperating in action against the Taliban in its ongoing Operation Zarb-e-Azb as the military crackdown completed 3 months on Monday. A report.
The Pakistan Army claims to have killed more than 1,000 militants in the massive offensive so far. The Operation Zarb-e-Azb, which entered its 4th on Monday, has also raised concerns about the whereabouts of the insurgents who have escaped the crackdown. With fears mounting of the terrorists taking to safe havens in the treacherous terrains in Afghanistan, the Pakistan Army blamed its neighbor of not providing enough help during the operation along the country's joint border.
There is hardly anything that they've done across the border. We informed Afghanistan before start of the operation using all levels and all channels of communication. But we've not heard any terrorist fleeing across the border who had been apprehended or who had been handed over back to Pakistan or even killed for that matter.
Pakistan has been urging Afghanistan to dismantle centuries of the Taliban leadership on its side of the border and arrest Pakistani Taliban chief Mullah Fazlullah to ensure the success of the offensive. The army also pointed out the regions in Afghanistan which are being used by the militants for terror activities.
We've been pointing out to Afghans that there are terrorists who have holed up in Kunar and Nuristan. They're carrying out acts of terror from there, from across the border. So nothing has been done against them as well.
Operation Zarb-e-Azb, meant to eliminate terror outfits from Pakistan's lawless tribal areas, began on June 15th. The long-expected ground and aerial offensive is seen as a response to a deadly Taliban attack on Pakistan's biggest airport in Karachi, which happened days before.
The death toll in Pakistan boat capsized rose to 20 after 3 more bodies were recovered on Monday. The army boat carrying a wedding party of nearly 40 people went down in the flooded Chenab River in Multan on Sunday. Those killed also included the bridegroom and 2 children. The mishap happened after the boat hit debris from a dike that was earlier blown up to divert waters from flooding urban areas of the city. Pakistan Army had breached a number of bunds in past few days in the flood-hit Punjab province to prevent further inundation of the neighbouring area. After keeping the secret behind their chiseled bodies, Bollywood celebrities are now unveiling their fitness mantra. Take a look at how they are promoting good health.
He has been gifting Mumbai ways to stay fit. Bollywood actor Dino Moria went one step ahead in opening his latest health studio in the entertainment capital recently. The 38-year-old actor called on superstar Hrithik Roshan to inaugurate the outlet aimed at ensuring the health of Mumbaikars. Friend Aditya Thackeray also joined the duo. Flexing muscles and his chiseled body, Roshan seemed fervent about Moria's initiative.
I feel it's the biggest and the best contribution one can make to our society. I miss कि जब मैं छोटा था, when I was in my teens, हमारे पास in Mumbai we didn't have such structures. We didn't have access to gyms. We didn't have. Now, while you're walking around the streets of Mumbai, on the beach, on the sea face, whereas we have Shivaji Park, you have access to a workout, spend 15 minutes a day also. It leads to a healthy body, it leads to a healthy mind, leads to a stronger acumen, you can a disciplined body.
Named DM Fitness, the facility has a series of fitness machines which can be used by the locals free of cost and is Moria's 10th such facility in the vicinity. The designing provides the functionality of a gym in a small area and is open for everyone. Bollywood actor Abhishek Bachchan had also inaugurated the first of the chain of open-air workstations last year.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude the top stories once again. Terror outfits filling in for government relief aid in flood-hit POK. Bangladesh calls for wider regional cooperation to combat threats of Al-Qaeda. And inflation in India falls to 5-year low for month of August. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.